Well, here's the thing. As I was like walking around the school, there was also a bunch of like homemade Free Palestine stickers. And like I didn't want to be like, oh, political movement, also YouTube channel, you know? But like everywhere that like was a good spot to put a sticker, they put one of the, like they were everywhere. These Free Palestine stickers were everywhere. I was like, fuck it, like I got to do my thing. So I was going around sticking around, and like 10 stickers deep, I realized I'm like hanging up a photo of a Jew next to a bunch of free, like the most Jewish looking man next to a bunch of Free Palestine, and he's like, ah, like sucking a cucumber. And I felt self-conscious.
Zach, how I'm gonna punish you whenever you take an edgy risk like
that wasn't edgy. That happened.
No,
it
did happen. No. But what I'm
very silly.
Silly.
Did I stop?
silly
No.
little move.
Was I a little bummed?
Zach's
yeah.
just a silly little guy, you guys.
He's so silly.
I was like,
He's
that's
not an adult man with reserved problematic beliefs. He's just a silly dude.
I was like, do you know what else is important? Me.
I'm gonna do what America wants me to and distract from this with media, baby. Here we go.
The Jewish media.
They'll be so mad about. No, that's not what I was saying.
The Jewish media.
I was
is
just
here.
no. I was just saying America in
Shout
general.
out to Kanye.
I want to make that super clear that what Zach just said, that was not my intended direction to go with this bit.
Stand by for the opening night of the National Television Service.
All right, we've ordered pizza. Megan's going to give us updates whenever the Domino's pizza tracker
And
updates.
you can all know our driver's names, so if you get them, tip extra. We sure paid it forward, didn't we? All right.
Christ.
Zachary, your hair looks insane like that.
Make me full screen.
No,
I don't know what to tell you. I need a haircut, and I'm wearing headphones. I've been fighting it this whole recording session. That looks better, right?
Yeah.
You're making
Kind
me
of. Oh, we're in it together.
Oh yeah, I'll be in it,
Brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
You want to do jokes again?
I got a joke.
I burnt through all but one of mine.
Oh,
So
man.
you got
I guess
catch
I
up.
gotta carry.
you got to catch up. There's a callback from a week ago.
Haha, catch up. Fuck.
I'm trying the New York style crust. Julian went with the thin crust. Unexpected. Megan also went with the New York style crust.
I'm dieting.
I just
you
like to
guys.
copy
I'm
Zach.
dieting.
She does like to copy me. Just fine. Because 2 peas in a pod. You know what? I'm just going to tell mine while you do that.
You tell yours. I gotta. I guess I didn't
Shut
prepare
up, I
the
can do
number
mine.
of jokes.
There
All
we
right.
go. Fucking dumbass, dude. Okay.
God, if you were a girl, it would be hard right now.
You got to stop, bro.
I really don't like it.
It's fine.
Okay, I get.
Yeah, but if-
you're
if
the
things-
only one, Megan. Okay.
This is gonna play.
Just stop.
If things go well, this is gonna play in a courtroom in about 8 years.
Oh, that's. Okay.
Okay. When I was a child,
Oh shit!
what? Update?
It's baking.
It's in the oven. It's in the
It's
oven,
baking,
everybody.
boys. It's
Let's
baking.
go. She's in the oven.
Entered the
That's
oven
right.
at 10:40.
Chucky's fucking
That's the
hyped.
perfect time to put it in the oven.
I agree.
10:40, dude?
10:40.
10:40. I'm like oven time, dog.
You know, when they tell me my pizza went in the oven at 10:40, you know what I said? 10:04
And that's 10:40 a.m., folks.
a.m.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah,
I'm joking.
That-
Wouldn't that be funnier though
God,
if
can
we
you
were
imagine?
ordering pizza at 10:40 in the morning,
nothing wrong with that.
10:50 in the morning?
There's something wrong with that. Yeah.
No, it's
little-
completely
Not
fine.
like-
If you start work at 7, you eat lunch at 11. At 7-Eleven. No, okay.
Okay, yeah,
So when I was a child, ladies and gentlemen, a young man, I heard people talk about like, oh, I just bought a house. Oh, how much property is on? It's on 3 acres. And I didn't know what an acre was. I thought they said anchor, and I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, I guess they measure fields by like how much space a ship anchor would take up. And so as a child, I thought they measured yards with like how many anchors you could fit inside of your backyard.
I'm just thinking about that, like SpongeBob, when like the Flying Dutchman comes to visit, he just drops a big ass anchor into Squidward's house. That's how I'm imagining.
That's
that.
one anchor. That's on a one anchor lot.
That's a one anchor property. Which, granted, that was a big ass fucking anchor.
Big ass anchor, dude.
How big was your childhood perception of an anchor? Like, would you hear
An anchor
Would you
or an
hear
anchor?
3 anchors? And no, I'm talking about you. I'm speaking to 8-year-old you right now.
Okay.
So, how big do you think an anchor is?
Dude, here's kind of a funny comparison. I would view an anchor in the same way that I view a kilometer, where I'm like, oh, that's 20 kilometers. Like, okay, that's like 20 small miles. You know, where I just have this like vague kind of random
Zach,
idea.
within your joke, I think small miles is very funny.
That one, honestly, that joke killed in class one time. One time we were in like class down at the hall, and they were like, oh, it's we had to like drive 10 kilometers down. It's like, does anyone know what that is in miles? And I was like, that's like 10 small miles, just totally earnestly, and everyone burst out laughing. And I was like, it's not that funny, you guys.
No, sometimes I'll actually get that with you a lot of the time, where sometimes I'll say something and I'll be like, no, that's just the way I thought it. And people will be like, that's funny, man. Like, you don't need to make up a joke on top of that. You already nailed it. Just the
Small
thought.
miles.
Small miles.
Everything's smaller in Europe. Small miles, small inches, small feet. Actually, their feet are bigger. Do they even have a foot?
I'm the one who's got to shut
They
up.
don't
here.
have feet. They have meters and millimeters, but they don't have like a segment of a meter, do they?
The British still use miles.
I don't think that's true. I think the reason we went
they
to
do.
miles, they do?
Yep.
Did they ever use kilometers?
Other countries do.
But they use
I'm
millimeters,
saying the
right?
British.
But they use millimeters? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I think that's one of those things where
I'm telling you, they do miles
So
per
I
hour.
think-
you have a computer, look it up.
So, do British people do currently? I
Yes.
don't believe so. I think you might be thinking. I think the only
British
other
people use
country,
miles?
Australia, maybe?
maybe
Not
Australia was on the imperial system for a while. I know that Britain.
The United Kingdom, the United States, and a number of countries with fewer than 1 million inhabitants. Most, I don't know. Yeah, they
in
do.
the UK
They do.
they use
They
miles.
Can you
Still
finish
use-
this?
they
No,
still
hold
use
on.
miles.
Finish the
It's
sentence.
the stupid AI.
You're using AI?
No, you know how Google's been doing that? You search something and then it does like an AI generate. It's stupid.
Yeah,
Nope, but
I know. I know. What
In
you're
the
talking about.
UK, miles are generally preferred to kilometers, especially in the non-specialist media. This is probably a consequence of the continued use of miles on road traffic signs and contrast with the widespread use of metric measures for shorter distances. I'm telling you, I'm not wrong. Okay, I used to be really, really British, into British stuff, like a weeboo, but for British
You
people.
mean like so? What is it? What was
we
his
call
name
those
again? Martin
people
Friedman?
wankers.
Yeah, like Martin Freeman
dumb?
was
That
like
was dumb.
my crush.
No,
I
I
used to
actually-
cosplay as Watson from.
And
You just go hit it with
Megan,
a little
did you walk
Jason
around like
Statham.
this?
No.
That was your cosplay of Martin Freeman?
Is Mr. Bean his fetish? Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
I bet you love Mr. Bean, don't you? He's probably, you watch Mr. Bean and you're just like, oh, I feel like a normal person. I bet Mr. Bean's so
Like,
weird
oh,
that he makes you feel normal.
Get what he's saying there.
Maybe that's
He's-
why I like you, because you're a clown.
Well, she got you, mate. I'm Jason Statham. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, your girlfriend, she fucking got you, mate. What can I say? I was in the mag, and I'm telling you, she really magged out on you, mate. Jason Statham. That's like our new give him a taste of the triple guns.
Sorry.
With
One of the best
you're
ways to make me
such
laugh
a
is by
hard
catching me
laugh.
off guard.
You're such a hard laugh, but all it takes is just the well-placed Jason Statham, mate.
It's catching me off guard is what really gets me. I was like, I was not ready for a solid Jason Statham, and then it was just the way you said it.
Furious, mate.
I'm Jason Statham. Like, just the way you said it was good. You did a good job.
I like the
Congrats.
idea that he comes into every room and he introduces himself.
Oh, God, do you have a joke or not, dude?
Oh God, I do have one actually. This is a bit
This
of
is
a,
why you should write it on the whiteboard.
this is a bit of a longer one.
I-
Okay, so get ready for that. So I'm working with this guy, and in sales, you get a lot of different types. So it was me, my African American coworker. This is probably
Is that
come
important?
up. It is.
Awesome.
It's,
It better
what
be.
you don't think? I think everyone's important, Zach, but that's just me. So it was me, my coworker, and then our boss. And our boss is a real sales guy, and he's telling us a story. And he's kind of got that like.
Shouldn't we also know the race
Megan,
of your
let
boss?
him finish the story. He's doing a
It's
thing.
white, okay?
Let him do the thing.
There's 2 white guys, and then there's my other coworker, and then
The other. Sorry, I did it this time. It's just the way he said that was not okay.
Okay, the audience is drunk at this fucking venue. But
God.
No, just I am. But I would say that there we go. So I had a coworker and a boss. Jason Statham, mate. I'm gonna restart.
Yeah,
So
restart. My bad. I apologize.
I'm at work with my coworker and then our boss. And our boss, he's like a real sales guy, so he's just like running his mouth, saying like everything he can. And he is, I'm gonna try and do my best impression. He's talking about the most fun you'll ever have in Las Vegas. All right, man. So the most fun you're ever gonna have in Las Vegas is you're gonna want to sit down at a craps table, right? With, and his exact words, any denomination of Asian people, okay? Black guys. He looks my coworker directly in the eye and says, black guys from the hood. And then like old cowboys, man. That's the most fun you're ever going to have in Vegas. And then he goes into telling his experience, which was exactly like this, because he'll be like, the Asian people are just sitting at the table shouting in whatever language. That's how he chose to put. Yeah, don't drink during this bit, man. Shouting in whatever language. You know, they're just out there, they're getting super mad. And then he says, and this is his word and his decision process. He says, and all the black people, they're like, and he looks at my coworker, thinks, hey, should I do the voice? And then he mans up, he does the voice, he says, and all the black people are like, I'm not gonna do the voice. He's like, I need some 2s so I can win a new pair of shoes, is what he said, but he really hams it up. And then he's like, and then all the cowboys are just like, whatever. He didn't really he didn't give a shit about he introduced cowboys and he didn't give any payoff for that. I think
Token white guys at the craps table.
and then he's just like, and the cowboys will be like, oh, that dog won't chase or something like that. It's just saying random shit. So it's like, this guy has fun when he understands nothing. You know, he just likes being a stranger in a new environment. No, that's it.
You want to go to the craps table with Asians of any denomination, or as we call them, the low brow, or what do you the low?
Oh, you're not.
We're not releasing that episode.
Well,
the low.
No, so I'll redo this bit for the episode that you decided you didn't want to release.
It should go.
The whole episode?
I don't know.
Zach,
maybe.
you gotta stop referencing the most horrible thing you said in our previous episode.
It wasn't. It really
I was
wasn't
making
that
a joke
bad.
about. I was also making another joke about the other episode. No, but I work at a sunglasses store, and for glasses to fit on your face, you have to think about people's facial geometry. And a lot of Asian people have a lower bridge on their nose, and thus to have your prescription sunglasses sit right, you'll want to elevate that bridge on your nose a little bit.
Keep going. Sorry.
So you want to elevate that bridge on your nose a bit. So we have a line of sunglasses that used to be called Asian fit, and now they're called low bridge fit, because that's maybe a little bit more accurate to what they're trying to describe. So I thought, like, I think it was, what is it, like, one of my bosses actually said this to me the other day. She was like, oh, it was a low bridge fit customer. And I was like, dog, you can't just. Now she's Filipino too. She's Filipino, so I wasn't gonna be the one to call her out. I was like, dog, you can't just make up a new word for it. You know, you can't just get around with the technicalities.
I didn't want to interrupt before, but we are at quality check.
Woo!
So
That quality is going to be a solid 5 out of 10, just like it always is, baby.
they're ensuring maximum deliciousness
I
at
go-
11:01.
Why does quality check take longer than anything else on that Domino's tracker?
Any rats on this one?
Guys, we really can't. Did you hear about the Little Caesars that sent out a pepperoni and a swastika? So they just, like, I can totally. I was like, imagine you work at a Little Caesars. And
Well,
you're
that
like
was forever
16.
ago, wasn't it?
It was
Actually,
a long
I am
ass time
thinking,
ago.
okay, yeah, it
like
was.
imagine like you make a little swastika and you send it out, and you think, oh, my coworker's like, this is fucked up that we're doing this. It's like the look on his face is gonna be great. And like 15 minutes later, you're making pizzas, you forget about it, and you're like, hey man, do you notice anything about that last pizza? He's like, no, what are you talking about? And he's like, you didn't see anything on that pizza? I was like, no man, I fucking sold it. He's like, you sold that pizza?
Sold that one?
You set out.
That's
the
why we need the
swastika?
quality check.
That's what the quality check is. They actually used to not have that.
Not
They only
another
added
one.
that after
Not
the
another
swastika.
one.
Yeah. Man.
If it's not a Juneteenth pizza, we're not fucking sending it out.
Oh
all right,
my
guys?
god! When we were filming the Chucklehead show, I was looking at like what was trending on TikTok to hashtag things with, and one of them was Juneteenth, and I almost didn't check what it was. And almost just tagged like 4 white guys at a table as hashtag Juneteenth. I was legit. I was like, you know what? I better look up what it is. I looked it up, and I was like, whoa!
Oh.
That was a bullet dodged, bro.
Maybe maybe it's just happy summer, you know?
Oh, this is
hashtag school's out. That's maybe one more suited for us, you know?
Speaking of school, I was putting up Levy Men stickers.
Yeah.
Around, I was like going around to school.
You got to put up the Levy Men stick.
Got to put up the Levy Men stickers, and I was trying to be strategic about it. So I was like going up around like colleges or high schools and stuff like that, and like doing their around them, right?
Tag yourself if you've ever seen one of our Levy Men stickers.
Well, here's the thing: as I was like walking around the school, there was also a bunch of like homemade Free Palestine stickers, and like I didn't want to be like, oh, political movement, also YouTube channel, you know? But like everywhere that like was a good spot to put a sticker, they put one of the, they were everywhere. These Free Palestine stickers were everywhere. I was like, fuck it, like I got to do my thing. So I was going around sticking around, and like 10 stickers deep, I realized I'm like hanging up a photo of a Jew next to a bunch of free, like the most Jewish looking man next to a bunch of Free Palestine. And he's like, ah, like sucking a cucumber. And, I felt self-conscious.
Zach, how I'm gonna punish you whenever you take an edgy risk like
that wasn't
that,
edgy. That happened.
No,
And
it
was
did.
silly.
It did happen. No. But what I'm
Very silly.
Silly.
Did I stop?
silly little
No.
move.
Was I a little bummed?
Zach's
Yeah.
just a silly little guy. You guys.
So silly.
I was like,
He's
that's
not an adult man with reserved problematic beliefs. He's just a silly dude.
I was like, do you know what else is important? Me.
I'm gonna do what America wants me to and distract from this with media, baby. Here we go. Well,
The Jewish
they'll
media.
be so mad about. No, that's not what I was saying.
The Jewish media
I was
is
just
here.
no. I was just saying America in
Shout
general.
out to Kanye.
I
and,
want to make that super clear that what Zach just said, that was not my intended direction to go with this bit. I was in fact going to punish you by talking about how the majority of advocates for Palestine in the United States are Jewish Americans.
Oh, good. Well,
It's
not ones that are deep throating a cucumber.
Not our own personal Jewish Americans. Regrettably, no. That's not the group. But most people, statistically speaking, got a lot of support for Palestine.
It seemed like what I was doing was disrespectful.
See, I could see how you maybe felt that way.
I was like, this is wrong.
I would
but
say, damn, they're still checking that quality. A lot of rats on this batch, you guys.
I was like, this feels wrong, but game respects game. I was like, don't hate the player.
Nah, you should hate the player a little bit. Like, he's just. Oh my god! I guess we ended that on a fucking pro-Palestinian message. But man, those some fucking detours.
We already missed 2 uploads. We can't keep on this trajectory.
We can't keep on this trajectory in a couple of ways,
God.
man. It's
You want me to come out with another hot take?
I mean, as much as I always do, brother.
I think I'm done with ESA dogs. And not like actual ESA dogs, but I think I'm at the point where like you need a disabled parking pass to park in a disabled parking spot. I think you need a pass to like take your dog places. I'm so anywhere. You know the whole thing of like you can't ask me why I need my disabled dog. Go fuck yourself.
So I was
Dude, I'm honestly I grew up, I'm not going to out my family. I grew up in a family fuck it. I grew up in a family that we bent that road quite a bit. So I'm coming at my own people here. I'm fucking over it. It's so silly that you can hide behind like you have to let me do this because you can't ask me what's wrong with me. Whereas like every other time you like need a handicap X, right? Like you need a disability, you need a disability parking space, you need money from like every other capacity in which you like use a public service that's like for handicapped people, you have some kind of totally legit certification to say, hey, I have a right to use this. You can't ticket me. I think I'm at the point where I'm over like folks being able to lie about it. I think it's fucking silly.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll unpack my own personal reaction actually from today. So in general, I'm pro taking dogs everywhere. It's like in a very purely democratic sense, if everyone was like, oh, I don't want dogs there, I have allergies, my vote would go to, I still want dogs there. I like having dogs around. So it's like when dogs walk in at work, I'm super excited. Like I work in a dog mall, and I'm always happy to have a dog customer. You know, I like hanging out with the dogs. Definitely my favorite customers. And sometimes today I saw a couple of dogs in the store, like 3 dogs in the store, and one of them had an emotional support animal vest. And I did kind of think like, buddy, you don't need to bullshit with me here. We let the dog in, you know, just come with your regular dog, you know? So I do get that in a way. The idea of people taking it as being like some people treat it like I need to have this emotional support animal with me, like I need to have my child with me. And it's frustrating the people who are lying about that for own personal gain because there's no way to tell the difference. So it's almost like an honor system thing where my aunt's very much the same way, where she's just like, she'll buy something that she wants to use once at Walmart and she'll buy it and then she'll go bring it back to him, you know, which I mean, like, fuck Walmart. I don't really care, but she'll like bullshit all the way up to the employees and be like, no, oh no, she's even worse actually. My aunt will buy things still in the box at a yard sale. And she'll go return the product without a receipt to Walmart for a little extra cash.
Fuck Walmart.
I mean, fuck Walmart. No, fuck Walmart. I don't care how much cash Walmart loses. It's more like you kind of entered into an unspoken bond where if we are to say fuck Walmart, you can't make any one person's life too difficult in fucking over Walmart. And I feel like you're making everyone's life more difficult.
Me?
No, not you, the Aunt Shannon.
Oh, for returning something?
For returning something that she didn't initially even buy.
Whose life is she making harder?
I think about the person who has to, I mean, not insanely. It's just like, if someone were to tell you, no, we're not able to accept that return, and you push back on them in a way that, granted, you are rewarded for, because if you push back enough, they'll eventually reward you by accepting your request. But it still makes me feel icky.
I hear you. It's not I would compare the dog thing more to like that era when people are like, I can't wear a mask, I have a health problem. It feels similar in that vein where it's like you're not fooling anyone and I'm not gonna like pretend that you are.
Is
it's
it
like
the
fuck
lying?
you.
Is it almost like the lying component that kind
what
of
it really
upsets
is?
you about it? Like,
it's not them lying about well-behaved dogs. It's about people having like a shitty ass dog that's fucking barking at everyone and being obnoxious. And they're like, "Oh, sorry, it's actually an ESA animal." Fuck you,
I'm trying
dude.
to think about things like
we
this.
have an old. I have to go off. We have some old fucker that lives in one of these apartments that has a little ass dog that he just doesn't put on a leash anymore, and it just runs around. Like you'll get out of your car and the dog will just take off towards you. And some people are cool with it. Some people aren't. When your dog does that, the response shouldn't be, oh, sorry. It's like, you're not sorry. This happens all the time. Your dog's just running around on the road. I decided, honestly, I was driving in my fucking car and I was pulling in and this dude's dog was just driving around the parking lot and it was like in the parking space. Like, dude, I'm just going to fucking like drive forward and it's either going to be like a pigeon situation where it fucking gets out of the way or I'm going to hit this dude's dog because I fucking don't give a shit. And I don't think that there's any legal, I mean, now I can't because I've said this publicly. But 2 weeks ago, I don't think I could go to jail because you didn't have your dog on a leash and it ran in front of my car and I hit it as I was pulling into a parking space. I don't think there's like, I think that's you just putting your dog in a dangerous situation.
I think that's more of a moral question.
Yeah, fuck his dog. I hate his dog. I hate you as a person. I wish you didn't live in this apartment complex. If you really loved your dog, you wouldn't let it run into the street, you bad dog owner piece of shit, okay? Go fuck yourself.
People talk.
Put your dog on a leash.
In our political landscape, people talk about how dialogue has gotten much more inflammatory and much more isolating. I think this was the perfect example of that, where
I'm not saying to hit protesters. I'm saying put your dog on a leash.
That's not.
You shouldn't hit people. But you should put your animal.
No, I didn't.
On the sidewalk.
Zach, your point.
Same thing with bicyclists.
I never
get out of the
thought
road.
You were arguing to hit people. Bicyclists, I think, are different. No, for me, it's
I hate when they go back and forth between the bike lane and the road. It's like pick a place to drive and stay.
I push back on you in the dog thing. A bicyclist, fuck road cyclists. I'm in my car. I'm comfy. Fuck you. Like I feel that when it's like. When it's a dog, when you use that trait of logic, I don't know if you're being facetious, but no, there is like a genuine human response at the end of the day that goes beyond what you're legally obligated to do and what you're technically obligated to do is just, do I want to hit a dog with my car?
I don't want to hit the dog.
Control,
but I also don't want to like the dog's in the parking space, and I just now I have to sit here.
Don't want to be.
I want the dog to move, and I think if I start pulling forward, the dog will move.
There's two things. You don't want to be inconvenienced in your day, which you recognize, like wait, but you don't want to have to wait the extra 2 minutes when you're fucking tired.
I want him to be punished for his mistakes. I want him to have a repercussion for his shitty like behavior in the same way that like I'm tired of people pretending that they're shitty ass dogs or ESA animals. If you're inside of like a grocery store and your dog's barking at everyone, you shouldn't be able to be like, oh, it's an ESA animal. Even if you're not saying it's an ESA animal and it's like just cool to bring your dog into the grocery store. How about if your dog is shitty, you don't like become one of those people that's like, I have to take my dog everywhere with me. Teach your dog not to like be a nuisance. If a person was in a grocery store shouting, everyone wouldn't be like cool with it. We'd be like, yo, that's a crazy person. We need to get the crazy person out until they learn how to like be civil. Your dog has to be civil too. And it really gets to me when someone takes that uncivil dog and labels it as like an ESA animal.
I think we're just more divided based on how much we like dogs here. I think is really the line of how much extra dog are you willing to tolerate in your life? Because for me, it's like every example you list, I take your point. This is one of those situations where my view is, why are you letting that upset you in your day? Dog was barking.
Because it inconveniences me.
Well, yeah, no, dog's barking out. I go to fucking aisle 11. Man, that's kind of how I think about it.
I need broccoli. The dog is in front of the broccoli.
Get the broccoli and leave around the barking dog. Sometimes you're in a city and you walk by someone screaming on the street. You shouldn't be like, oh, get out of my street. Like, it's like.
They shouldn't be there screaming in the street. Or in the street.
In a perfect world, they wouldn't be there screaming in the street, but there's no
they would
ideal
have
mechanism.
A family member that could take care of them, i.e. the dog's owner. There is a person who is responsible for that dog. There isn't a person who's responsible for a crazy person in the street.
More harm onto yourself by having these little hang-ups about things.
Sure, Julian. What's your point?
That's my point.
Like, oh, you should just let it not bother you. It's like, okay, yeah, but it does, and now I'm talking about it. So, like, what now? Like, should I just not talk about it?
I'm not saying don't talk about it. I'm just saying my response to that conversation is, in general, things like that. I think about that instance as more like a road rage instance, where it's like, yeah, someone cut me off in traffic. I could choose to be pretty mad about it for the next couple of miles.
Hates that. Everyone hates that.
Everyone hates that.
I'm bringing this up because I don't think a lot of people are like, yo, fuck people being able to just label their dogs ESA animals.
No,
The reason
I know,
I'm saying
it's
is because I don't think a lot of people agree with me.
over. I think the principle
it
carries
doesn't.
over. Yeah, where it
It's
does.
worth discussing and like noticing because it's something that I'm getting upset
Yeah,
about
exactly.
that I don't think a lot of other people get upset about.
I feel like you're conflating what I'm saying with Zach. You shouldn't have talked about that in the first place. I'm saying, Zach, thank you for talking about that. I fully disagree with your approach to that situation. I don't believe what you're saying.
Would you have a problem if someone pretended to be disabled to park inside of a handicap spot?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you take that same like thought process?
Right, because it's different.
What's different about it?
Because it's a dog and not a person.
It's something that we give to a person who needs it. Someone who needs an ESA animal, someone who needs like a blind seeing dog.
Perhaps
it's a tool that we give to them in the same way that we give them a tool like a disabled parking spot to make their lives easier.
How people, and I don't know how you exactly define this, but I do wonder how people with crippling anxiety might feel about other ESA
it's not
animals.
hard. It's not hard. You make one doctor's appointment and they like write you a note.
I understand. Same thing with
It's
medical weed.
Super easy.
Same thing with prescription weed, right? It's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Make one appointment with the right doctor, they write you a fucking note.
Exactly.
So I am asking you, do you believe if you were a person who depended on an animal for comfort genuinely, would you feel frustrated? Like, so here's part of the reason why we give out handicap parking spots is it's a finite number of excellent parking spots for the disabled. There aren't a finite number of dogs we can let into stores. So by you bringing your shitty ESA in, unless it directly negatively interacts with another animal,
Or person. How about that?
or person in a negatively interacts with another person. Sure. I care less about the person. Animals are stressed out in a more fundamental way.
You care more about a dog biting a dog than a dog biting a person?
No, I
that
did
what you
not say biting.
What do you just mean barking?
Yeah, you were saying annoying.
Sure, I'm
How
taking
you
it.
define inconvenience? Yes, I don't care if you are inconvenienced so someone can have their
just
dog
barking.
in the grocery store.
You're saying just barking. Anything worse than barking, you would point at the person being.
Yes, you can't have a dog that's going to bite people, especially children.
If you're gonna make the argument that having a dog comforts you enough to relieve your anxiety, I think you have to like accept that a dog barking in a public, like a dog barking at someone, is going to do the exact opposite to some other people's anxiety.
I'll take that. Everyone's got different anxiety levels. Why should your anxiety without your dog supersede someone else who's afraid of dogs barking at them? Why should that
Putin
supersede?
did that to someone. Putin. Oh no, someone.
Angela Merkel. No, you're talking about Putin. Putin. So German
That was
Chancellor
funny.
Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
Why was that funny to you?
Because it's fucked up.
Because you like Nixon, right? It's like fucked up in a Nixon way that you like.
Well, I don't know that much about.
Like
Nixon.
it's tricky and political. And
It's funny in the
When you
same
say
way
it's
that when Donald Trump like calls Ted Cruz's wife ugly, it's funny in that same way of it's like shocking. It's like I can't believe that guy just like it's a wild thing to do.
The Donald Trump Ted Cruz wife thing is funnier, but that's
not
just because Shane
clever.
Gillis talked about it.
It's not clever. It's just like
I think it's
oh my god, I can't like what a wild thing to do.
No, for me, it's just like I don't think it's that smart. Like I think you could think of other fucked up things. I don't know.
It's like the Murray show. It's like the Murray show where someone has like a phobia of styrofoam, and then someone like they come out with an iguana, or like someone has a phobia of iguanas, and they come out with an iguana. It's like watching your dog get scared of a vacuum cleaner. It's silly. It's like I don't know.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, so Putin had a meeting with, I think Julian said the German chancellor, and they have a phobia of dogs. And so Putin brought his dogs to the meeting to like fuck with them. And it made me chuckle. But it was like big dogs. They were like, what are those big doggies?
Like they were like Doberman and like Rottweilers.
Oh, yeah,
They
were like big, like big dogs. It's like not okay. But
yeah, one of those like mean looking like a pit bull or a
think it was,
Doberman
like,
or
2 of
something
them.
like that. Yeah, no, it was a big fucking like attack dog.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a
Delivery.
Thanks, Tyler.
Tyler left the store at 11:22.
sick. But back to the
I would say that when I hear like, so Zach, are you anxious in like a visceral way that's really upsetting to you when you see a dog like bark at you or bite you? Does it like really upset you as you're like for, minutes afterwards, hours afterwards?
I'm talking about it right now.
No, but like, what is it? How
It
Megan...
bothers me for weeks.
No,
later.
but like how Megan eats her apple bothers you for weeks, and we're not going to like legislate anything for that.
It's just a funny thought. How long does it affect you?
Oh,
what are we doing right now?
A while, man. It lingers.
So I see the point you're trying to make. Why are you against having some kind of certification for it?
I wouldn't say I'm against that. I would say in general,
that's what I'm advocating for.
Having type of
something.
greater. So you're advocating for a certificate that's treated with greater scrutiny.
Yes.
So
you have to do something. And dude, you could lie about having an ESA animal.
That already exists.
Yes, but
like having an
it's not
actual
required.
service animal.
So here's
Megan,
I
understand. I'm saying I think there should be
more.
What
do you say scrutiny?
Well, wait, can I? So
Go
when I
for it.
went to the glass museum with
yes, I'm specifically upset about my grandmother's
he got
dog
kicked out.
Yeah, fucking okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You
and
shouldn't let a shitty
cussed
dog
out the lady because
you
of it.
shouldn't. And that's Megan exactly. People that do this are like.
No, right, but I'm saying that
kind of
having a real service animal is the certificate that you're talking about. People saying they have an emotional support animal, that's not a thing anymore.
It is. You can get adopted. That's how. If you have an ESA animal, you don't have to pay rent for it. All you need is some kind of notoriety from your doctor. You send that to your apartment complex.
Rent is a hell of a lot different than public places.
Whoa,
you can't bring an emotional support animal to a movie theater, for instance. They're not going to let you. It has to be a service animal. What is the service it's providing?
So in what scenarios can you deny someone access for their dog? Because the way dog owners, okay, I'm sorry, maybe I'm misunderstanding. The way I've seen dog owners defend it is like the same way that people defended like not having to wear a mask. Like, you cannot make me do this. I can, if obviously it wouldn't be worth the money, but I could take legal action against you.
People think it's an ADA thing, Americans with Disabilities Act sort of thing.
So could you do that, or is that all bullshit that we've all just drinking the Kool-Aid on?
So I think it's slightly we're drinking the Kool-Aid on. So Americans with Disabilities, pretty litigious, like backed by a lot of organizations, are going to do that. I'm not sure. I don't think an ESA actually falls under. So, for example, like if you, like on an airplane, you have to take precautions to let someone with a wheelchair get on. Like,
there's got to be something real about it, because apartment complexes aren't going to let $300 a month slide. If like it's like, okay, like they're not going to just.
No, they are.
Bow their head.
Because it's not enough. If they were to fight each individual, it's all about money. Like, if they wanted to be counter litigious and say like, oh, you don't need an ESA, we think you're just fine to operate without one and pay full rent, they'd have to pay so much more than getting that $300 in rent from you. They just take the L because it's been legislated. So when you say additional scrutiny for something like getting an ESA, my first thoughts are, in general, I oppose additional scrutiny for things because I'm more of a choice forward type of person in general, which what
does that mean?
Like when I say I think that someone
should
talk
quieter into your mic too. I
think that someone should be able to smoke marijuana.
You can be emotional. I wasn't telling you.
I think someone should be able to smoke marijuana even if it's bad for their health.
Okay.
If it's technically afforded to them. Like, I don't really care how you get your weed. If you're in Hawaii and you have to get a medical card, if you're in fucking Alabama and you have to like get it illegally, I don't care so much. I think the government system should be set up to provide it to you with minimal scrutiny, and then a lot of societal implications will take care of the rest. So
how does that relate?
I would
Oh, you were giving what was the word you were giving your
scrutiny? What?
No, you said you were a forward-thinking person or something.
I was what would I say? I generally believe.
What was the word you used though?
I forget. I'm trying to just fucking stop obsessing over the word, man. You do this all the time. You don't need to obsess over the one word. Just let me explain what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I think that it's like, I'm against giving additional scrutiny for things like that. because I think that sometimes in that additional scrutiny, you can lead people who deserve the service. Like you basically make it only accessible to rich people. So let's say you don't have to go through one doctor's appointment. You have to go through 4, and you have to have 4 different doctors tell you that you need an ESA. Who's it going to be easier to get ESAs for? So I kind of, based off of that logic, I think I see what you're saying. Like it would be more fair if we got ESAs into the hands of only people who needed them. I think providing additional scrutiny will mostly lead to rich people having access, not people who need them having access.
I disagree.
I'm just saying it already is a thing. There is already additional scrutiny for like real service dogs.
Correct. Yeah.
You can't just bring a dog into a restaurant and say it's an emotional support animal and they'll let you eat with it. They won't. The service dogs have like papers.
I'm happy to hear that you're allowed to say. I have seen my family members conduct themselves in such a way that they like believe that they can like press legal charges. And so if I am incorrect and any business can deny your ESA animal for whatever reason, then I don't give a shit. That's fine. I'm happy that can happen. My understanding, because of the way that I've seen a lot of people act in society and a lot of people act online in videos, is that you can like really bully someone around because you have an ESA animal and it's your right in X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Actually recently saw a video. It's like this blind guy who can kind of like make eye contact because he can kind of see.
But the
Yeah,
black guy
legally
whose
blind.
husband plays all those pranks
and
on
they
them.
have
Yep,
the
I like them.
penguins. Yes.
They're from Seattle, you know.
They are. And he went to a restaurant in Seattle recently and he talked about it on his TikTok because they turned him away. They said that wasn't a real service animal. You're not really blind. How are you making eye contact with me? Dogs are not allowed. And he was like, dude, like this is my, like, look, I have a cane. Like, what are you talking
I think
about?
I heard about that.
And he left because they wouldn't let him eat there. And then he like called and talked to them and he wouldn't out the restaurant, which I thought was honestly pretty cool of him not to out
Nah,
them.
fuck them.
Well, because his comments section, they were like, who is it? You know, like
You say
we're gonna come
fuck
for
him
them.
or fuck
them.
Fuck them. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, they
Go to war. I'm
the
so
person
I
who
just
turned him
wanna
away
watch
got
the
like a
world
big
burn.
talking to, and I don't know if they got fired or what, but yeah. Anyway, just like that's a thing. That is still a thing. Maybe your family is just really rude.
So Zach,
They're really good at talking. So
They're just like,
my
I
family's
will
just very
sue you.
litigious.
So I definitely get it in the way where it's like the image you have in your head is someone who just wants to take their dog with them to national parks and like just doesn't want to obey the rules about that type. So I have, to your point, I have a couple of other little things that were mostly one. It's the thing that's really upsetting about it is that other service dogs get thrown off easily by non-trained service dogs. So if you have an instance where, I don't know, say it's a national park where you're not supposed to bring dogs, but you're allowed to bring your service animals. If you have a guide dog taking you around this walk, it is more dangerous to go on that walk if an untrained service dog is there. So I do care about that. As far as people just being bothered by things, my initial reaction, we could go back and forth, but when you say like, I don't like service animals in the grocery store, I feel it's from.
I don't have a problem with service animals in the grocery store. I have a problem with people taking shitty dogs into the grocery store, and then when someone and then defending their shitty behavior by saying that it's an ESA animal when it's not.
So all that, you have a problem with that? That sounds to me like someone who has a problem when a customer service worker does this, that, and the other thing. Fair. You're justified. They shouldn't have done this, that, and the other thing. Like, fuck it, you know?
I'm missing your point.
It's that you, like...
Are you just going back to it shouldn't bother me that much?
I'm going back to it shouldn't bother you that much.
Okay.
I think maybe what Julian's trying to say is it's a very like boomer perspective, almost.
I'm talking about
Like
boomers mostly. This is what boomers do.
This is kind of what boomers do.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm gonna go get our pizza.
Oh, pizza!
Pizza time, baby.
Woo! Pizza! Pizza! Sometimes he'll do it. Yeah.
So you get all these emotional support animals conversations firsthand, huh, Megan?
Oh yeah, no, he complains about everything all the time.
Right? No, but you know, things should bother him that much is what I've learned. Is I'm wrong for saying that it should bother him less. It should, Zach, as you're editing this, it should bother you more, buddy. You should be fucking pissed. They did it just to upset you, dog. Take it out on them.
No, when we first started dating, I remember being like, you know, I've noticed that like you let things get to you. You know what? You should be like a duck. And like, because ducks have a special gland that produces an oil that they rub onto their feathers that make their feathers waterproof. So that's why the phrase, like, you know, like going off a duck's back, like water off a duck's back. That should be Zachary.
You need to put some more of those oils on.
He needs to preen his feathers and just move
I like
forward.
the bird-based metaphor, Meg, and I like how you kept it very on character for yourself. Like you love fucking birds, and you're like, hey, dog. Like within the first time, like much like a bird, Zach, what you should do is you should secrete more from your oil glands such that you're able to produce like a
he's got
kind of
fucked up
apathetic
feathers. He gets soaking wet.
Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. And we all going together.